I don't like how you cared more about the GoPro than the performance.
Bro, I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Bro, please tell me you didn't do this at a comp with this GoPro. I feel like
You're
when
not
that
supposed to
happens,
be
we
so
really
good.
gotta
You dropped it. Just give me so much insight.
That is why my students have GoPros.
What's the setting?
Butterfingers.
Is this a school? If so, what is it?
I go to Taos University, which is a state college in Towson, Maryland, which is just north of Baltimore. And we are a university band that does not compete. We do not get a score when we perform. Rather, our criteria for a good performance is how well we entertain the crowd. I uploaded a video a few months ago called Oopsie, and it is a video of our school performing at a competition, an exhibition performance, a performance that we do while the judges are tallying up the scores so that the crowd isn't bored in the meantime. And one of the big things that we do at that point is really just validate a bunch of the performers at that school and make them feel like what they do is worthy, because we try to put on a big grand gesture of the marching arts. And that gesture is supposed to be cool. It's supposed to be overwhelming. It's not supposed to be, precise. It's not supposed to be military. It's supposed to be something that makes them feel good about what they do, which is why we do stuff like pop music. We were playing Radioactive and Till the World Ends. Those are not necessarily, the academic, scholastic standards of the marching arts. They're just really there for fun. In this performance, my GoPro falls off my instrument and I have trouble grabbing it and putting it back on, because every time I try to put it back on, it falls again. And I keep this cycle up a couple of times before I just end up holding it at my side while finishing out the performance. I've done marching band enough of my life that I feel confident in my abilities to recognize the time in which I can break and go out and do something, which in the moment of our show was where we're all running around in a hysteric fashion. And for those who have seen the video and want to actually know what it looked like on the field, this is what it looked like. We have moments like this in our show because a lot of our audiences are high schoolers and college students, and it's hard to keep their attention in military for so long. And because we want to create something beyond the realm of marching, and we want to make it a sort of theatric pageantry of sorts. Not every marching culture in the world is going to align exactly like this, and I think one of the biggest problems I reached in my comments of that video was that people just didn't necessarily understand it, or it was something different than what they're used to. And it's absolutely no fault of their own. It's a bit of a culture shock when you realize that marching band isn't exactly the way that you've seen it. And the way that you see it is when you are performing, when other bands are performing, and when you are rehearsing. You don't necessarily get that culture otherwise. I've done drum corps, I've done competing high school band. I know what it's like to be military. I know what it's like to feel like you can't break or feel like you have to do everything perfect. And I recognize that is a very impactful part of someone's education, is when they have this responsibility for themselves and for others to do things properly. And I also recognize that that's not the way that everything in life should be. It's the same principle as not having your very best performance, but someone else in the band also having their very best performance. One thing that I think is very overdue right now is responding to some of the comments, because again, a lot of people haven't really understood other cultures of other bands, and seeing something like this for the first time left an impact on them, and they wanted to tell me that. So I thought it only fair that I were to actually respond to those comments. Love this recovery. The recovery is definitely the important part. You can mess up, but you have to recover. Is DCI a collegiate competition? Drum Corps International and college bands are two different entities. College bands are associated with the college, and drum corps are their own bodies. Drum corps is a summer activity, and you are there every single day with some training in the winter and the spring. College bands have a little bit of training in the summer, depending on the program, and then they will actually exist during the fall season. Some schools aren't quite like this. There are schools where they have a marching band and no football team. Some schools don't have a marching band. In the world-class division of drum corps, there are a lot of collegiate members, but they still go to college and exist in their college bands while also being a performer in Drum Corps International. If you have any more questions on this, please let me know. They are very different activities, but they are a lot of fun, regardless of where they are or who you do them with. I don't know why, but it's so hilarious to me. I've gotten a few comments about the scream in the beginning. I'm pretty sure there's this one as well. My philosophy is if everyone else is selling it and everyone else looks weird, they're not the ones that look weird. It's you that looks weird if you're not giving them the same energy. So when I'm out on the field, I try to give as much energy as possible and look the goofiest as possible so I can try to bring other people to that level as well. I mean, it's also like a lot of fun to be goofy. I mean, you put away the whole entire world for that 10 minutes you're on the field. Why wouldn't you just give it everything you have? It's the one place where you can do it and not look weird. What grade are you in? I'm a senior in college. I've been in the marching band since 2018 and 2021 was my last season. YouTube has stalked me and showed me this. I hadn't even looked up mellow and French horn tutorials on here, LMFAO. It's the algorithm. For some reason, it really picked up on the platform, especially for people who are involved in drum corps and have searched up drum corps videos on YouTube, which is weird because it's not even a drum corps video. I don't even remember putting many tags in it, but I'm pretty sure it was the fact that a lot of people who watch drum corps were sharing it with other people that watch drum corps. I mean, in my opinion, it was also just a funny video and people were sharing it, so it started to pick up. Dang, this guy is playing epic runs while struggling with a GoPro. Like I said, I've been doing this long enough and I feel confident with my abilities, but I definitely appreciate your sincerity. Also, shout out to Scott Burma, our arranger for music at Towson. He does a really good job with his music, and if you've heard one of his shows, you would know what it sounds like. The mellow parts are very fun, but so are all of the other parts. One-handed mellow is not easy, mad respect. I have several bad liars to thank for that. It is very hard to use a lyre on a mellophone, so I kind of just sacrificed the lyre as a whole and just held up my flip folder in one hand, cupping the bell with my pinky while playing it with the other hand. And yeah, my arms really hurt after that, but it's so much easier than finagling with a lyre. Of course, it's the mellows that are dropping stuff. What do you have against mellow players? Did you date a mellophone player? Did you get rejected by one? Of course, it's the mellow players that you should be looking out for. We're trouble. We're gonna get you. I'm a 10th grader who just started playing mellophone for the first time at the beginning of the year. Funny video and great playing. Thank you and thank you. I also started playing mellophone when I was in the 10th grade. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Hopefully you'll have more fun playing the mellophone than the last guy will have fun making fun of the mellophone players. Well, at least it landed right next to the podium. I have been talking extensively with my friends about how fortunate it was that it landed so close to me and right next to the drum major. Speaking of drum major, there has been an instance in the comments where someone did mention a field commander as opposed to a drum major, and that upset some people because apparently they call them drum majors and only drum majors at their school. Which, again, it's this difference of culture that people are just getting used to in the comments the first time. They're not used to being exposed to people who call them other terms. And again, it's no fault of their own. Maybe their reaction to that comment was a little bit strange, but it's not their fault for having a different band culture than the other person. And even though there were people in the comments who agreed with the terms that they used, there were still people who, after that comment was posted, still tried to correct them. Which I get, you know, some people just reply without reading the other replies, but I mean, come on. How are you able to hold your phone on your instrument? I wonder if I could do that while I'm playing the saxophone while I'm performing. GoPro. This GoPro was given to me as a gift from the person who helped me find housing when I was performing with Pacific Crest this last summer. And mad props to him because this video wouldn't exist without his help. My approach is when the GoPros or anything else interferes with the show or they're playing at the instrument, you have to step back and remove that. We never use them at a competition. Check out my GoPro show edits over on my channel. Very difficult to edit, but very cool to watch. I have had only once where one got knocked off a tenor drum and landed on the field for a couple of minutes, and then a Sousa player picked it up and continued the show. Footage was pretty cool. It is in my GoPro show for 2014. Bob Fitzgerald's name probably doesn't come up for you immediately in your brain, but he's the guy who posted the original Jig 2 video, and that has gone pretty viral for most marching band kids. And if you're an instructor, it is entirely your choice of what to do if there's a GoPro on the field. Some like to encourage it in some situations and some have a hard ban on it. And again, it's a difference of culture and there's nothing really right or wrong with anything so long as it's not putting anyone in harm's way. I like to think I'm pretty responsible with my usage of it, and I know that when my GoPro fell off, it was because my clamp wasn't strong enough. So I got a stronger clamp and I ended up doing another performance with that GoPro on with the stronger clamp. Also, yeah, I'll echo it. Please check out this guy's videos. They're really entertaining. Now it's time for the comment that actually made me want to make this video in the first place. It was someone who who maybe got a little bit too upset when they saw it, and they got a little taken aback by my response, so I'll just kind of share it. I won't show you the original comment that they had, that was the one that I actually responded to, but I'll give you what is up on YouTube right now. Good job! You are really good at your instrument, and I'm very impressed that you can march and play and put your GoPro back at the same time. Maybe next time just wait until the end to get it. There are always other shows. Your band sounded really nice, by the way. Which, thank you. I agree that the band sounds really nice. I love marching with the people that I march with. And to his original comment, I replied, "It's just band." But that wasn't the one that got really upset. The person that got really upset said this: "Well, if it's just band, then why don't you just quit? Maybe it's because I'm in a band that used to rarely place. But WTF, would you just leave your position to get a freaking GoPro? At a competition? You could have not placed for marching just because of that. I'm really curious." Now, we talked about this one a little bit in our marching band, which it was only talked about because of the way that it was worded. It was absolutely nothing against this guy's sentiment, but just because we know that we don't compete and this person thought we did, which the misunderstanding was what was funny. It wasn't the person or what they said. It was, you know, the fact that it just kind of happened, I guess. And that sort of upset factor kind of overtook the rationality factor. And I tried to bring this person back down to that rationality by telling them that we're a college band, we don't compete. And I could tell this person didn't understand that with their response when they said, "Wait, college bands don't have competitions?" No. I mean, ours doesn't. So that's the chronicles of me upsetting a lot of marching band people. I had no ill will against any person when uploading this video. I really just thought it was funny. And so did a lot of other people that I marched with. It was kind of a joke, and we kind of made some different edits on it. But the fact that I uploaded it was not based on the fact that I thought it was funny, as much as it was based on the fact that I wanted to share it with other people because I thought they would find it funny as well, which I think is sort of where I stand on the marching arts. It's less about being perfect and more about working on a product and sharing it with other people. It's one thing to feel like you're doing something perfectly, and it's another thing to work on something and have that resonance with yourself and with the people you're performing with and with the audiences, because it's not really enough to have that product for myself. It's the community that you build with the other people who understand the ethic that goes into performing, and really that just goes into art as a whole. So I'm really glad I took the camera on the field, and I hope I can make more content that involves goofy stuff like this, because you can be perfect, but it's another thing to be human. But otherwise, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.